Welcome, Sara. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I just, I had one of those mornings where I overslept and wanted to look great for this, but instead I'm wearing my bathrobe. And so I'm just trying to own it. Like this is who I am, internet.
I love it. I love it. So you guys, I'm so excited to introduce you to Sara Armour on our Day Job to Dream Job Summit. Sara Armour is a funny person living in New York City. In 2015, Sara competed on season 9 of NBC's Last Comic Standing, headlined Caroline's on Broadway as part of their Breakout Artist series, showcased in the New York Comedy Festival, and was a finalist in Comedy Central's New York's Funniest Stand-Up competition. She is a featured storyteller in October's edition of Hot Mic, Dan Savage's podcast, published by The Rooftop Comedy and distributed by Audible.com. Since 2013, Sara has been traveling nationally as part of the Betches of Comedy live comedy tours, sponsored by BetchesLoveThis.com. Sara has been featured in the New York Times, The New Yorker, and Nylon Magazine. She's been called brilliant by the Washington Post, a beacon of love and light by an intuitive shaman, and the Jewish J-Lo by her mother. Sara is also a certified life and creativity coach, born and raised by two imperfect but loving self-help section devotees. Now Sara works with a select number of private clients, I was one of them, teaching weekly development groups and leads workshops for creatives and corporations around the country. She is masterful at allowing clients to see themselves, accept themselves, laugh at themselves, and move fearlessly into the unknown. Whew. You're pretty impressive, Sara.
Wow, thanks. I'm just there that I wrote on my own bio that I myself was masterful, so that was a pretty...
It was bold and very true, I would say.
I went for it, but I don't feel that good about it. It's just a little braggy.
I love you. You have a lot to brag about. So this summit is called From Day Job to Dream Job. And I'm really interested in hearing sort of the evolution and the story behind all of these kick-ass entrepreneurs like yourself. So can you tell me about, I don't know, whatever feels most present or a little bit about your day job to dream job story?
Well, I guess the main thing that feels right to say about my day job to dream job story is that I'm still in the middle of it.
I love it.
Cool. I feel very and I'm beginning to wonder if there is ever any
if you ever arrive,
right? What it actually means, because a dream job is different than a dream life, I think. And
yeah,
because what is my job? What are my jobs? I guess that is kind of what's always evolving. The job, the thing that I'm doing to survive or to pay my rent or that's what a job is. Mm-hmm. But it's true, when your job feels like fun or when you're doing something that you love, it doesn't feel like as much of a job. Totally true. But it also doesn't make it any easier to do it, because actually it wouldn't be your job because it's so scary, and it's so it's not easier. It's not like you're now I have my dream job.
Right. And everything's perfect.
Now I have my dream job and everything is a million times harder and more fun. So it's just you have your day job that you quit, and then you're wow, life is going to be so much better now that I'm going to do the thing I want to do. And then you're oh no, I have to answer a million questions about who I am every single day. And I have to myself and to others and to the world. And it's a lot of work. And I don't know if it ever ends. When I was in my day job, I would wake up sort of to get to the end of the day, or I would wake up trying to have a good day. I had so many day jobs. Well, my day job before I quit. So I was the marketing director of a film production company for a long time.
Cool. Okay.
Before that, I had 10 jobs. I was fired from Clear Channel. I was fired from, I did samples at Whole Foods. I was fired from a real estate office. I was fired from just a number of places. I was very not interested and acted out a little bit. And it wasn't a match,
In this summit, actually, it's kind of funny. We have a lot of.
I'm sure there is. Just bored women, you want me to answer the phone? I don't even answer the phone when anybody calls, Anyway, so I quit my day job. I started coaching, and then I quit my day job working as a marketing director of a film production company. I was also doing comedy at the time, and I really wanted comedy I've always wanted and expected comedy to be my career. I still don't totally know in what way, but I knew that I knew that I was an entertainer. I knew that I was going to tell stories and be funny and make people just feel better. It was either that, like my parents were always like, she's going to be a rabbi, she's going to be a therapist, she's going to be an actor. So like I somehow found myself in this like funny cross section where I'm like, they were all not wrong. Like, okay, you know.
Yeah.
So
rabbi, therapist, actor.
Yeah. Then when they'd be like, is she a rabbi or is she a cantor? And she's like, she's an amazing voice. And it was like not that amazing. So, you know, it was like a lot of just then I became a comic because of how good I thought I was. And then you find out, oh, they were just excited to be parents. You know, you're not that.
Oh my God, I love it.
No. But so for the past 4 years, I've been working as a coach and building my comedy career. And actually now I'm in this new transition where I do coach. I still have a coaching practice. I love coaching. I don't even know if I would stop coaching, even if I like made it. Like I actually really love coaching. But I am trying to actually turn my comedy business or my entertainment business into my primary income or my primary focus.
Got it.
So I'm in the middle of that, but it is going well.
Yeah. What would making it look like to you? Is it okay if I ask that? I'm just curious.
Totally. Yeah. I actually had a moment last week. My boyfriend just like made it. We realized what his making it moment was. And he was, a network flew him to LA, and both times when he was flown there and back, when he came down the escalator, there was someone holding a sign for his name.
Nice. Okay, so that's it.
And like that was kind of it, you know, like oh shit, yeah, like you're someone at the airport, you know, and you don't have to go through the lines, and you don't have to. You can go right to the car, and you know, like something like that, or even just I guess feeling like I was not. I mean, really like paying the bills, like you know.
Because I think a lot of people would look at you and be like, holy crap, she's made it. Like she's got so much going on. So I always think it's funny to like hear the behind the scenes, and you know, there's always like that next level, right?
I feel like making it next would be like any sort of certainty. You know, like the thing about comedy is it's like you can do it and you can have success and you can have these milestones happen. But unless there's a plan that eventually like totally congeals and you can kind of see the path, there literally isn't one. So it's really hard to, and so many things are involved. It's like materials involved, performance and performance opportunities are involved. Then there's like management and agents, and it's just this whole big, you're kind of like the center of this whole big thing. And so until it all comes together, it's very unstable. I'm sort of, I think making it would feel like I just had some long-term stability. Or longer term stability, and like someone was at the airport and gave a shit if I got home okay.
Yeah, got it. Okay, I like that. What's been the biggest challenge for you, like from that time that you quit your job to like right now? Like what do you think the hardest part has been?
Well, I think easily money. I would say like just like money, consistently having money has been really hard. I find that the funny thing is about money, and this is like really interesting.
Kind of a boss at earning money, though. It's kind of interesting.
I was just gonna say, you have to learn. So from coaching, even though the reason coaching's so awesome is that because even when things are like bad or hard, or you're confronted with yourself, or you're not making money or whatever, you actually are constantly just taking a look at yourself, right? You're constantly being asked to be honest and asked to take a look at what you're doing. Yeah. So for a while, money was my thing. And I'm like, I can't quit my job because I don't have any money, and I won't have any money, and my parents don't have any money, and I won't have anyone to take care of me, right? So when I got done with that story, it was holding me back. Then I realized, oh, I know how to make money. Oh, I love making money. Making money is easy and fun. And then it turned out I didn't like having money. So even if I had a really good year last year, like a big year. And like, I have to figure out how to pay my taxes that I didn't pay on time throughout the like quarterly year. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not, you know, that's just acceptable. Like, no, I'm not, you know, no one's dying, but like, come on, Sarah, like, you know,
get it together. When do we ever get it together?
What the fuck? Well, I can't, you know, and you know, so, you know, granted, I'm not a business coach, you know, don't ask me about,
that's how I coach. We're a huge part. So I think I mentioned this earlier, but Sarah was my coach during my transition. And, you know, the business strategies are awesome. And you are one of the most powerful people. Oops, someone just turned on the light. That's cool. At actually shifting someone's being. And I think you were talking about that a little bit, but like, what's the connection between your being and your bank account? Because for me, there definitely was.
Totally. I actually do remember to like just stay light and not go into the drama of
all of it. Yeah.
Of all of it. That your bank account will also, even if it looks bad, it will be okay soon after. You know, like you can still kind of always stay above the, you know, above the, like, there's no return. Place of no return. Desperation.
Return, not a tax return.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Oh my God, so interesting. So something that I'm always curious about for you is, what is it like to have two businesses? Most of the people in this summit they've got one main thing, but you have a coaching business and you have your comedy. Do they play well together? Like, what's that like?
It's been really challenging. This whole time I've had that question for me, and it's always evolving. And I'm now at a place where I'm very grateful to have both. Mm-hmm. One really does support the other. And, you know, coaching gives me so much stability, honestly, because I have a healthy coaching practice. So coaching gives me stability. Coaching is a wonderful practice, and just listening to other people, connecting. It's just
sure, I was like hysterical. Like you, I was like a character, right?
Oh my God, Rebecca, the Rebecca character will come out. You are one of the funniest people. I mean, I've been doing you for years.
Do you want to do me right now?
Let me think. I could, but like I don't know how. You know, it's like we haven't talked for a while. But like,
we're recording, so no, we don't. I won't put you.
I could do a quick. No, I could do. I'm not. Do you think I'm afraid? If I can, I would just be like,
do it. I'd love it.
Okay, I'll do it quick. You'd be like, hey, you guys. I'd be like, hey, you guys. Here I am in my car. I just want to say that you are beautiful today.
Yes.
Okay. Like you're really close. I don't know. I'll do one better later.
No, that was great. I love it. One of our themes in this summit is women inspiring other women. And just this idea that, you know, we can either see somebody out there crushing it and think like, oh my God, there's no space for me. Or we can say, wow, if she can do it, I can too. And so I'm curious, have there been any like super inspiring women in your life, or just people who have kind of like paved the way for you?
Well, I'm like super competitive, and there were many years where I was like I hated Lena Dunham. I was like really angry when she started existing. I really was upset. I was started hate watching Amy Schumer. I would go to all her shows when she would come to DC, and I would go I would go 2 nights in a row and just be like, this is not that good. Like, who the fuck am I? I wasn't even doing comedy yet, I don't think. But you know. And it was really like my anxiety. Even sometimes now I'm like, I can't watch Broad City. Like I just have so much anxiety when I watch Broad City because I'm like, where's mine? So I feel that way a lot. But I don't think there's anything wrong with. I think the wrong conversation to have is there's no space for me. I think the right conversation to have is, whether they give you anxiety or not, like they exist and so can I. Mm-hmm. And so I definitely think there's enough pie, and there's no like, oh, she's already doing that. That doesn't, I mean, that's silly. Mm-hmm. But I do think that, I think what's more scary to me sort of is like when I see that these people exist and I hear what they say and I talk to them, how much work they're doing. Mm-hmm. Like, then I'm like, it's really like, oh, are you willing to do that, Sarah? Like, are you really willing to like, how much am I willing to give? Amy Schumer has lived on the road for 7 months. Like, am I willing to give that? Does Sarah actually think she can do the work? That's the hardest part about it. And you have to keep showing up for.
I love that distinction of, it's not about like what you're capable of. It's really like, how devoted are you? And that kind of, it's so much more, I don't know. It's less about like an innate ability and more about like, it's in your control kind of. And so I think that's such a beautiful reframe.
I feel like the way that we used to talk about this all the time, which is that like, it's just the difference between actually loving something or not. Mm-hmm. Like love is not easy. It's not perfect. It gets messy. It's like, it's a total mind fuck. It's the look in the mirror. It's all of it. Right. But like you either stay and grow or you leave and grow. I mean, there's not, love also relationships end, but like anything you love, you actually have to give attention to. And you actually have to be forgiving with, and you actually have to be actively focusing on the good sides and actively focusing on what you can do, because there are so many things as you get into it where you're like, oh my God, like,
Yeah,
what
totally.
am I doing? Is this person crazy? Am I crazy? Like,
Is everything crazy?
is everything crazy? Intimacy so hard? Love is really hard. Relationships are really hard. And it's not just the relationship with you and another person. It's you and yourself. It's you and your work. It's you and the way that you're interacting with the world. And so if you actually really do it from love, when I sit down to write and I'm like, okay, this is the sitcom. Like, here I go. I'm going to be the fucking richest woman by 6 months from now. I believe, right? I am like so fucking stressed out in 40 minutes. And I'm like, I haven't written anything. I hate writing. I'm not a writer. I'm calling my mom, calling my therapist. When I sit down, I'm like, oh my God, I love this idea. Or like, oh my God, I love, like, sometimes when I'm like when I'm not inspired, I'll just like write about Randy or something. Like, I just love him. So like I could like write about our story or something. It's just inspiring to me. Or like, I'll write like something funny that happened today, because I actually love just recounting funny things. So when I start to do it from that place, oh God, I love these women. I wish I could be one of these women. I'm going to practice being that. It's way easier. But like, yeah, when I try to do it from like, I want to be there, it's like,
totally. And I love what you just said. Like, and a lot of people watching are early in their business, and there is this idea like we have to all be creating content. We're all writers of some sort. And I love your idea of like, okay, when you're stuck, when you're blocked, like start where the inspiration is. So like start by talking about how much you love your boyfriend, or like who's inspiring you, or the funny thing you did that day. Like, what a beautiful invitation to like, you don't have to like create a masterpiece right away. Just start with like something small that's inspiring you right now, and that is a great place to begin. That's so beautiful. I love that.
And the other add-on to that, the other thing that I've realized recently is, in that same vein, if you want to do it from love, it's like, who are you writing to? Like, so think about your audience, and it's like, okay, I love these people. What do I want them to know? Like, I have a chance to tell these people I love something. Like, what do I want to tell them? And then it's like, okay, then you can get back on track, or you can, who knows where that will lead you. But if you just need to start just from love and like flirt and impress and go that way, I think it's a lot just easier.
I love what you said about like thinking about your audience and that you love and giving them one thing. So the people who are watching this are some of the coolest women on the planet. They're soulful, they're creative, maybe they haven't quite figured out like what that next step is, but they have these entrepreneurial dreams, and they are some of the most lovable humans on the planet. What do you want them to know?
Whatever you do is fine. Just do something.
Yeah.
And then you'll know what to do next or what not to do next. But like, you have to just start.
Yeah.
You have to just start. And there's no wrong. You're not wrong. You could go to an open mic and sing a song and you wouldn't be wrong. It would just be a choice. So, and a lot of the things that you make early on don't define you. And none of the things that you make actually in your life even have to define you. It could be different every time. It could, like you just have to make something, and then you'll figure out what to make next.
That was very profound. I like that a lot. That's amazing. One other question. What is the best part of being an entrepreneur, in your opinion?
I mean, I get to smoke pot all day, Rebecca.
Okay. That's the best?
I think so, actually. Actually, I think so. Otherwise, I mean,
I love you.
The freedom, there's freedom. You can do whatever you want. The best part of being an entrepreneur is not having anywhere to show up. Everything is your own choice.
Very cool. So if people are just like falling in love with you, which it's hard not to do, where can they find more about you? Where can they go to your shows? Where can they like learn more about coaching? Like, where do we go from here?
Wow, Rebecca, where do we go from here?
Like 5 questions. That's a coaching faux pas. That's called stacking, you guys, and you're not supposed to ask someone that many questions.
No, one open-ended question at a time that you're genuinely curious about.
Yes.
That's it. That's all you have to do. You can go to saraarmour.com and everything's there. I'm around.
Cool.
Set up a call if you
Cool,
want to
cool,
chat or send me an email. I'm totally available.
I love it. I love it. And there's one comedy skit that I really love. It has to do with Amy Schumer. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And I'll link to that in Journey.
Oh, you want me to tell you? You want me to tell you the story of the Amy Schumer story?
I mean, I love the whole Amy Schumer story, or whatever you have time for. If you want to tell it.
I'll do it. I can tell it to you, but I'll tell it quickly. Okay. So this is a crazy story. This is actually a great thing to share with people. Okay. So I quit my day job, moved to New York. The timing was weird. I had just finished a coaching certification program, and then was working on the road for a while. The guy that I loved, who I was not yet dating, moved here to do comedy about 6 months before. I was just dying to get there. I'm hungry for the D. And so I just kind of quit my day job and went. And I was like, I'm good enough. I'm going to be a star. I'm going to have a coaching practice. It's going to be great. Well, I go. The first month is horrible. I have auditioned for all these clubs. Nobody likes me. Like, I don't pass in any of them. I don't get any new clients. I have no money. I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. And I'm just like, whoa, I'm in Brooklyn. And like, I can't pay my rent. And this apartment's shitty anyway. And the whole thing was just very scary. Like, what was I doing, right? So Katie Paula recommended this psychic Karen Anderson, who she had worked with. She said, you gotta talk to Karen. She's amazing. I said, I really don't want to, but okay. So I spent all my money on it. I went in the red for Karen Anderson. Okay. Overdrafted for Karen Anderson, but she's a spiritual genius. She's worth it, right?
Pretty badass. I love her.
But so Karen Anderson and we had a horrible call. She couldn't say anything about my future. She did not know what was going on. We had to do all these exercises to like breathe out my fear. We unpacked my fear backpack. We like did a bunch of like blowing the fear away. I had a glass of water. I had to drink it. It was all this stuff. So she has me do a meditation at the end. And she's like, okay, so this is all about your career. You're totally panicked about your career. So I'm like, yes. She's like, okay, you're going to be fine. But like, let me just, okay. She's like, who are your inspirations? Who would you say you're most inspired by? And I'm like, I'm like Amy Schumer, Lena Dunham, Nora Ephron, like Julie Louis-Dreyfus, Rory Scovel, Louis C.K. I give her a list. She's like, do you know Amy? I'm like, no, Amy Schumer. Like, no, I don't know Amy Schumer. Should you know Amy? I said, no. She goes, oh, Amy's your soul sister. Oh, you're going to speak to her in the next few days. And I was like, okay. And it was a really weird thing. And then I was like, okay. And then she was like, okay, let's all have a great, Om Shanti, or whatever. And I was like, okay. She got the phone. I was like, that was weird. Like, that sucked. I think I called Katie. I was like, I think that sucked. And she was going to meet Amy Schumer. I like circled it. I wrote in my notebook. I circled Amy Schumer ? It was the weirdest thing. Next morning, I wake up. Laura Prangley, a girl I knew from DC who was friends with Amy Schumer on Facebook, sends me a screenshot of a post that Amy Schumer had written that said, looking for a female comic to live in my apartment for 3 months while I'm on the road. Email me, So I'm like, oh my God, holy shit. So I emailed. It was like the best piece of writing I've done. Talk about writing for the people you love. I hadn't written for like 7 years. I was a screenwriting student. I haven't written a single fucking movie, okay? So I write to Amy Schumer. I can write to Amy Schumer. So I wrote to Amy Schumer. One of the best things I've ever written. An hour later, she emails me back. She goes, hey, we love you. We love your stuff. My sister's going to call you. So I'm like, okay. An hour after that, her sister calls me and was like, hey, we're so excited. Like, welcome. This guy's going to drop keys off for you at the end of the week. And like, you can just move your stuff in. And I was like, okay. And like, that was it. And for my first month in New York, I lived in Brooklyn. And my 3 months that I moved to New York, the second 3 months, I lived in Amy Schumer's apartment for free.
What was in her fridge? Was there anything in her fridge? Like, I'm
tons
actually,
of booze.
I don't know.
Tons of booze.
Tons of booze. Okay.
Tons of booze.
Cool.
Yeah, there was like boobs.
Crazy. Yeah.
Boobs and all sorts of creams. She's a real woman, creams, weed, booze, But otherwise, that's like really it. I mean, she wasn't going to be there, so there was nothing really perishable.
Okay.
But it was like maybe a lot of gift booze, like very expensive bottles of $70 bottles of whiskey, So I don't know if she was buying those at that time, but ton of booze. But anyway, that's my crazy story. The universe provides. That's like my biggest take a leap, take a leap and then that will appear. You really never know what will happen. Just do something and then you'll know what to do next. But you have to move forward.
I love that. And I think that's like just an amazing place to kind of wrap up, like just take action and then you'll know what to do next. Is there any last, like a bit of wisdom or funny YouTube video you've seen, or just anything you'd like to leave our viewers with before we wrap up?
No, I guess that's it. You guys feel free to come to a show. And if you ever have any questions for me or want to talk, I'm available. And yeah, I guess my only bit of advice would just be like, don't take it so seriously. Do something fun, you know?
Awesome. I love you so much. Thanks for doing
I
this.
love you. Thank you.
Whoa.